Okay, cool. So she already said I can let her in.
Cool.
So this is Miss Yelena. Awesome lady.
Yes.
I'm glad I had a chance to have a conversation with her, not to take over the show what we're talking about, but I wanted to highlight her because she's has awesome energy. I can't wait to work with her in the
Yes, she
future. I'm not
does.
gonna say what we're gonna do with her in
Exactly.
the future, but great things are coming soon. So she's a wonderful person to have on. This is Miss Yelena, everybody. Hey, Miss Yelena.
Absolutely.
Hi, good evening,
Hey,
everyone.
What's
Yelena.
going on, everybody? Welcome to Just Stop It.
Good evening, good morning, good night, good afternoon, whoever you are, wherever you are. Welcome to Just Stop It. I'm your host and producer, the Grand Queen, aka the Grand Queen, Professor Williams, whatever you want to call me. Welcome to Just Stop It. We got a good one for you tonight, but before we do, we've got our Trey Wiz in the house tonight, our media producer in
Hey,
the
hey, hey.
house.
What's
Hey,
up?
Trey Wiz.
How
It's
you doing?
all good.
I know
Good
it
now.
is. I know it
Good
is. I'm
now.
glad you're doing better after all that has
Absolutely.
transpired in your week. So I'm glad you're doing all right.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely. Glad to be doing, glad to
that's
be
what's up.
here.
Yes, I'm glad you're
Absolutely.
here too. I'm glad to spend this time
Yes,
with you.
Trey.
Yes.
Yes, and glad to be with you guys tonight. And listen, for everybody watching us tonight, we listen, come on through, pass on through to the
Mm-hmm.
Just Stop It show tonight. So many things are happening during this season, seasonal changes and the effects of these things on our mental health. That's what we're going to talk about tonight.
I know that's right.
That's a part of accountability and support. Being able to do what you do best with support and being accountable for those things. We all play a part.
That
We
part.
all play a part, and that's us. Just stop
Yes,
it.
we
We
do.
out here advocating for good mental health support. And before we move any further, just a little friendly reminder on our disclaimer: the information in our videos, in our shows, is not intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All content, graphics, images, and information contained in our videos, our recordings, and more is for general information purposes only and will not and cannot replace a consultation with your doctor or your medical professional. So please always seek medical professional help along with the information that's being shared with you. That's what makes your life complete.
Well said. Well said.
Absolutely. And we have our also opulent Shannon Grace Chappelle tonight. She won't be with us tonight, but she'll be back. She'll be back with us. She's recovering and restoring her phenomenal, opulent self. We miss you, Shannon. Just so you know, our co-host Shannon Grace Chappelle, the opulent one, our
She'll be
very
back
own.
soon.
And she'll
She'll be
be
back
back
soon.
soon. She'll be back soon. And
Hmm.
we just send her blessings and more love. And we miss her a lot. And we just pray for the best recovery of all. And she will be good as new and bringing it just like she always
Exactly.
does.
Take your time. Take your time so you can do what you do when you get
Absolutely.
back. Hmm.
Yes. Because the silent struggle, and which is what we're talking about. Some folks love spring. So
Yeah, I
tonight it's
do.
about the
I do.
the spring shift, and we love
Hmm.
spring. It's shifting. The mind is shifting, the body is shifting, the brain, everything is shifting
Hmm.
from winter, the heavy clothes. Oh my God, the coats, the hat,
I'm
the
glad I get to be out in the
weather.
sunlight a little bit more. It's getting a little
It
little
is
warmer. A little warmer. Weather's kind of
some
crazy,
fresh
but
air.
it's getting a little warmer.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and the rain.
Yeah. Oh, that too.
April
I love the
showers, a
rain.
lot of rain.
Yeah,
Isn't it beautiful?
it
Oh
is.
my
It's
God, the rain is
relaxing.
so
It's relaxing.
beautiful.
It's refreshing. It's like a renewal almost.
It
Yeah.
is. And
Open
then
the
we
window and
learned
listen
that
to some rain.
this is some rain. Isn't it? What is it like? Brown noise, green, brown noise. I think it is. We learned the other day.
I'm not sure which one rain would be considered. I know
I
like air
think it's
conditioning,
brown noise.
fans, stuff like that. That's considered to be white noise, but everything has its own
Mm-hmm.
category as far as like
Yeah,
frequency and sound and the frequency it emits. So that all
exactly.
has
I
some type
think
of category. We'll break that down one day.
yeah,
Actually, that'll be a
we're
good
gonna
thing.
bring that. We're gonna bring that next week because Ari really educated me on that one.
Hey,
Brown
Ari, shout out
noise,
to her.
green noise. Hey, air. And I
Hmm.
tell you, I was like, oh, and rain was one of them. I said,
Yeah.
that's a good thing. We can fall asleep to rain once we even walk out in the rain a little bit. Hey, Latoya.
Hey, Miss Latoya, how you doing? Thank you for
All
stopping
right
by.
now.
What's up?
Absolutely. Thank you for
Yes,
passing through tonight. Yeah, so it's spring and we are springing forward and there's the scripture says the Bible, some people it's not that you just don't believe in the pages, it's the messages and it's history. It's a lot of amazing history.
it really
Actually, the
is.
Bible, the first part of it talks about behavior
Yes.
standards and morality of
How you
all
supposed to
kind.
be?
I'm
How you
like,
supposed to act?
wow,
Yep.
how you supposed to be? And
Uh-huh.
then the second part of it talks about the possibility, the solution, and the whole gist of the matter. The second part, the New Testament, is really to understand that there's a specific lifestyle that's good for you, good for your mind, body, soul, and spirit. And you don't have to
Hmm.
be a replica, of anything or anyone. That's
Everybody
just
needs a
my
guideline.
little
Everybody
synopsis.
needs a solid
Exactly.
foundation. So, hmm
Yes, and the Bible is one of those amazing guidelines. And yeah, so it talks about, rumors. It say, you're gonna hear a lot of rumors of things going on in the world. Rumors, wars, earthquakes, for
for
example,
instance,
things like
for
that.
instance,
For instance, earthquakes, wars. How are you going to cope?
I
How
got a
what's your
question.
preparedness?
I got a
Yeah.
question actually. Is your area
Hmm.
putting out resources, or what is your area doing as a result of the earthquake in
Well,
in New York?
I'm glad you asked, Trey Wiz,
Because I'm
because you
wondering,
know
I
what?
didn't hear you talk about no resources or whatever they said
Not.
they were gonna do
If
for.
they
Yeah,
did, I would have mentioned it. They,
yeah.
just like we had on, and Latoya, you can testify to this one when we had this big storm in New York, and they were sending us. You know how you get those emergency texts from the city and state,
Hmm.
and they tell you, okay, this is what you do. And it was supposed to have been a super, super flood. And they was like, go to your basement, go here, go there. I'm like, well, suppose you don't have those types of things. You know what I
That's what
mean?
I'm saying. Because
What you gonna
everybody
do?
does
You gonna
it.
have to go
It's
to the roof?
expensive in
What
New
you gonna
York,
do?
from what I'm
I'm
told.
telling
So
you.
I don't. Everybody don't have a basement.
So yeah, the thing is right now they have very few guidelines that fits everybody's situation. Those
Yeah,
guidelines they have is more fitted to specific situations. They need to just revisit and reevaluate stuff and say, okay, based upon your
Miss Latoya
situation,
said
this is what you
exactly.
do.
She said
Exactly.
exactly.
Yes, Latoya, she know New York City. She know the gist of stuff here. They talk a good talk, but they don't walk a good walk. That's the problem.
But I
And you
thought
always
that there
got to
was
be,
so much money. I thought it was so much money
listen,
flowing through New York. I thought just
it's a
everything,
lot.
every movie is based on New York or DC or something. So New York being
Yeah,
one of those other places, I thought that New York would have. I mean, we understand the things that need to be fixed. So the people that look into New York or different areas and wanting to see what the communities are like, things like that. I know certain things might need some work, but that's everywhere. But I didn't know that.
absolutely.
I didn't know that the residents had an issue with how things are being addressed and maybe
Oh,
the
yeah.
lack thereof. For real, I didn't know
The
that.
lack, yes, yes, and I can say it because we're New Yorkers, and
You're a
we can say it.
resident,
New
you know.
Yorkers, we
Testify for them because
always
you
put
know.
it down, and because too, we need other people to say, listen, cry loud and spare not on this thing, because
Hmm.
again, this is not a one size fits all, because they haven't done anything, they haven't implemented things such as an emergency plan for something as huge as
Hmm.
an earthquake. You've got
Hmm.
people who have physical disabilities. You got people mental disabilities. You got people who have all sorts of frailties, and you got the children. You got the elderly. You got all sorts of situations, and no plan is in place. What
Yeah,
is the preparedness? So yeah, I have to say, and New York City has nothing so far.
that's
So with
fortunate.
all those little So supposedly guidelines that tell you, okay, in the event that you are someplace, you make sure you stand by the curb, you walk away from the buildings.
Yeah, of course.
It's little,
Yeah, things
actually, it's
like that.
common
But
sense.
yeah,
It's common sense things that they
actually,
have implemented in their guidelines, but nothing that you could follow on any that could happen at any time. So
mm.
we
So it's kind of up in the air.
it's up in the air. So you got to create your own along with that.
Yeah, that's
Make sure you
unfortunate.
have an emergency bag packed with with your essentials in it, your mask, your hand sanitizer, your some clothes, in
Hmm.
the event that something happened, and you can get someplace like maybe at a daycare or a school, because really those are supposed to be the safest places in your neighborhood.
I'm gonna
And
show
if
you
people who
something.
live
I'm gonna
by
show
an
you something
armory,
live.
that's supposed to be too. Okay, show it
I
to
got a
us.
whole just because you're talking about it and it make me
Uh-huh.
think about it. A survival pack that
Oh wow.
has everything that you. I'm not gonna open it up and all that because I need my hand to hold the phone.
Oh
But
yeah,
a survival
yeah,
pack as far as on the go, obviously first aid
yeah,
kit, gauzes, um,
yeah.
like
Perfect,
rechargeable flashlight, the little
perfect,
aluminum covers, like 4 or 5 of those. It's
perfect,
like a hunting knife, a flint, and some other things like survival
perfect,
packs. Even
perfect.
just in
You
your car
will
or
need
something,
that.
you will need
Yes,
something like that. So,
you will,
mhm.
family. For people who are watching tonight, please, anything could happen. Let me tell you, I got military people in my family, and that Ariel, she was chief warrant officer, and she always say preparedness, no one left behind.
That
Having
part,
that emergency kit will help you to be prepared, to help you to get to the next step. Having some
you better.
clothes in a bag, emergency clothes to just grab, to have a grab bag,
Hmm.
to be on the go. And then again, figure it out as you go along, but make sure you're not traveling, you're not walking along any like hugely cracked sidewalks.
Yeah,
Make sure you move away from the building. In the event of even a small earthquake, 5.0, I don't know, 4.8 for New York City, that
yeah.
was
That's
serious
enough
for
for
us.
anybody. Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
that's. I'm
Oh
glad
yeah,
that everything
that
is all
was
right.
deep.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And another friend of mine, and also shout out to Victor. Victor, I love you, baby. My bro Victor also shared. He made me mindful to check my window sills for any cracks.
Yeah,
Check the
I didn't even
building.
thinking about that. The
Yeah, check the
foundation, because I've
building.
seen
Just check the
reports about that too.
foundation.
I've seen reports
Exactly.
about things falling off of
Outside the
buildings and
building.
being neglected.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and we've had that happen. We've had buildings, I think it was last month, the balcony, the whole building just collapsed. And
Mm.
the owner of that building has more buildings with
The
infractions.
same issue.
It's
Yeah.
equally, he or she, whoever they are, they did not address it. So the other buildings are also a part of that, have some of the same problems. So yeah, things like that, they don't need an earthquake. Can you
Yeah, that's
imagine
the
it just
thing. Yeah,
topple
that's the thing.
like that? Yeah. And then
It's already ready to fall apart.
is ready. And then we've got
Yeah.
new buildings. The new buildings, their infrastructure, their materials are lesser as far as quality is concerned than the older buildings.
Miss
So
Latoya has
that's
a question
another
for you,
concern.
actually. Yeah, Miss
Yes.
Latoya said, she said, "Do you remember the earthquake we had in the '80s?"
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot about that, Toya. I
Mm.
forgot about that. Yes, I do. That was tremendous in the 80s. My kids was like, okay, the Aries, Ari, I want to tell you age. My babies was born right about that time. I had two babies about that time in the
Yeah.
80s. Yeah, that was serious, because I was like, wow, what are we gonna do? We had a lot of problems. I remember the food source was different. The food sources was
Were you
really
still
different.
a New York resident at that time? Like,
Yeah, I was.
have you always been a New York resident? Didn't you say
Actually, I
Virginia at
came to
one
New
point time?
York. I came to New York. My grandmother brought me to New York at 5 years old. So
Mm.
technically, I was reared on the farm with my aunt. My aunt was keeping me. My mom was a nurse in New York,
Hmm.
what they called a candy striper. She
You
was
gotta give me the
yeah,
wind it
that was
back,
a good,
and give me. Help me
candy
understand what that
striper.
is.
That's like a
I'm not
like
gonna
a
let you do
practical
that.
nurse, like a
Okay.
practical
Okay.
nurse now,
Okay.
or nurse, not even nurse assistants, because the nurses now they go through a whole new regimen. But it's like
Yeah.
called what people used to call a practical nurse.
Hmm.
And she worked at Harlem Hospital, the famous Harlem Hospital, which is still
Hmm.
standing. And she sent for me, and my grandmother, her mom, came for me at 5 years old because I was staying with my grandmother's sister. And I prayed one day. I was like, God, I need to get out of here. I was 5 years old. I said, I need to see my mommy. And when I looked, my grandmother came for me. I was like,
Hey,
hey,
Kenneth.
way to go, God. Hey, Kenneth. So yeah, I remember that. It was really tremendous. But now with all the people we have, like, I can't even imagine like how much more people we have and
Hmm.
the issues at hand. And we have like this influx of immigrants as well. And then other health issues
Understood.
as well. When you start thinking about that, trying to wrap your brain around that, it can create earthquake anxiety. I'm just saying. So those of you who've been going through it since Friday, please holler back at us. Tell us what you have done to address it. Tell us about your silent struggle. Share with us, the solutions the changes you've made and the solutions you've come to and your reality on this silent struggle, that this crisis of mental illness when we are passing through our seasons. Yes, it's spring, and we all got our seasons. It's the spring season, but we're also passing through so many challenges, anxiety, physical, financial, a whole bunch of stuff. But that's okay.
That's all right.
We're here.
And Miss
We're
Latoya
here.
says that my she said her aunt worked at the Harlem Hospital as well, very
Oh,
historical
wow.
hospital. It makes me want to look it up actually. So it gives
Look
me
it
a little
up. Look
homework
it
and something
up.
to tune into. I
Yeah,
love the history. Yeah.
Harlem Hospital is like an icon in Harlem. Well, I love Harlem. My grandmother, the one who I said that she rescued me, she came for me
Yeah, I
from
remember that.
Virginia because I was born in Virginia. But I was living in North Carolina. The thing is, I don't even know. My mother, like I said, my mother took me to North Carolina because her mom, my grandmother, they all lived in North Carolina,
Oh,
but
okay.
I was born in Virginia. So I guess she took me back to North Carolina for my aunt to keep me while she went back to New York to work.
Right.
And so that's how I wound up in New York after 5 years old. And then I stayed, because I don't know, I love New York.
Yeah.
According to the
Everybody
icon,
says it's a
I
certain
love New
type of
York.
life up there.
It really is. It's a
Energy in the street.
whole new energy. And you just have to advocate for a lot of things to happen. That's
Oh,
all.
understood.
You got to
Understood.
advocate and become accountable and find the support you need so you can remain accountable and make other people accountable, because so many people come to New York thinking otherwise, like they're going to come do what they want to do. But how's that possible?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I want to start to be able to reach
It's a
out to your
collective.
area too. I can't wait to get to the point where we
Yes.
can actually start to reach out to certain areas and pull resources for those areas too, to be that
And that's,
resource.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
we're working on. That's exactly what we're working on. So here we are, embracing the arrival of spring. It's here. It's already here.
it
So
is
so
here.
family, share with us, what makes us, Friday, after, as I was going home, I was feeling
Yeah,
a little bit sad, but
understood.
there's this particular sadness called seasonal affective disorder. So this is like past sadness.
Hmm.
It's like a seasonal sadness.
True.
And
Enlighten us. Let
I was
us know what
like,
it is.
seasonal affective disorder, or in other words, seasonal sadness, is associated with winter, and it's often called like summer depression. And it
Right.
starts in late spring or early summer, and it ends in the fall. So it's
Hmm.
like a transition from winter to spring. Some people just they can't get with fall, or it's difficult for them to transition from winter to spring to fall each season,
Why do you
because,
think that is though?
well, it could be a number of things. It could be the impact that the season has on some people. Some people, again, they suffer so many allergies. They absolutely
I can give you that.
dread the spring.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
they're
can give you
like,
that.
God.
Hmm.
The trees, everything, whatever kind of, even in-house allergies, airborne allergies, should I say, dust mites, things like that. They're like, oh my God, I got to deal with spring. So it could sort of like create some type of depression for them.
Hmm.
And then other things that they're ongoing or pre-existing conditions, physical conditions can also bring on SAD, seasonal affective disorders. Right. Toya said she was going to say, okay, summer
The summer
blues.
blues,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It is, Toya. Absolutely. I couldn't have said it more better myself. It is like
And
a
you can't
summer
do too much
blues.
about it because when the sun is gone and it's cold outside and it's yeah, it's
What are you
not too
gonna
much to
do?
do. Yeah, what you
It
gonna
is
do
summer
about it? That's the
blues.
thing. So I
Yeah,
get it.
it's summer blues.
Yeah, I'm taking
However,
advantage now though.
exactly. Take advantage. Like you said, Trey, get some sun if you can.
Get
It
some
is
sun
if
if
you
you
got to
can.
sit by your window, catch some
Hmm.
sun. Go outside, step outside.
Crack that window, get some fresh air,
Crack that window.
breathe,
Yeah,
breathe some air,
yeah,
not that circulated
yeah.
nasty air just circulated throughout your house all
Exactly.
day. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can
Mhm.
feel like a human again. COVID, post-COVID, COVID and post-COVID, a whole different thing. Some people just went right back to nasty and whatever else
I
they
was just
they
about to
call
say that.
themselves.
I was just
They
about to say, I
did.
hope y'all got y'all hand sanitized. I hope y'all washing your hands just as urgently as
Right?
y'all was before, because
Exactly.
everybody all of a sudden act like they knew. That's what the only thing I hated about COVID. I did like some of the things that came out. I would never say I liked the fact that COVID happened, but some of the changes that happened, like the innovative, money making ways that we had certain things we had to create and
Yeah,
come up. I do like that. Unfortunately, it took something as
exactly.
big. I hate when it takes a massive thing to make people
Can you
change, but
imagine?
but
Yeah,
if you do get some change out of something, I do try to take that. But hey, I hope y'all, like I
absolutely.
said, washing your hands, got hand sanitizer, because
Yes,
everybody, all
indeed.
of a sudden, like they discovered germs for the first time when
I'm
COVID hit.
telling you.
And
I'm
then now
telling
y'all
you.
going back to leaving out the bathroom and not washing your
Oh
hands. And I'm at work
God.
and stuff. And I tell my coworkers, I'm like, hey,
Oh my God.
that person right there on the little walkie talkies we have. So I'm like, that person right that person right there
Can
ain't
you
wash their hands.
imagine?
So make sure you keep some hand sanitizer up there because people
God.
people all of a sudden don't know what germs are no more. So
It's
yeah,
unnatural. It's so unnatural. That's something that should be common sense. That should be a part of your entire being to say, okay,
hmm,
let me wash my hands because it's a part of your living. This
exactly,
is why, we have to the accountability and support continues to just ride
exactly,
high. It
exactly.
has to. It has to be at the forefront. Yeah. Well, Toya,
She said
yes,
exactly. She said she
exactly,
loved the social
exactly.
distancing, and I did too, because it
It
forced
was
you to
great.
it forced you to get real with yourself. So if
Yeah,
you things
yeah,
that you didn't want to face, and then personalities you normally didn't have to deal with, maybe family members or
exactly,
a husband or wife or your kids,
exactly.
whatever. So you were forced to deal with family
Yeah,
every day. You didn't there were no distractions. You didn't have
exactly,
time to be distracted about anything. So you
exactly.
know.
Yeah, and you need that personal space. And
Mhm.
even Kenneth, you read Kenneth's
He says seasonal depression is hard. He said a lack of vitamin D affects deficiency in depression. And we ain't got no
absolutely.
artificial way of making no sunlight or anything to make us feel like it. So, you
Right,
know,
absolutely, Dr. K. It's like too, you can substitute it for vitamin D. There's so many amazing vitamin D supplements and also vitamin, what do you call fish oil for those who can manage, for those who
yeah.
cannot.
Hmm.
But there is vitamin, again, vitamin D, vitamin fish oil, non-burp, that can help you as well. But
Get you some
again,
alkaline. Anybody
there you
who's
go,
into drinking
alkaline
water,
water.
get some alkaline water because you
Alkaline
drink it.
water.
Don't we over tap now? It's 2024. We're not doing tap water no more. So you can buy your
Absolutely.
Brita pitcher or something to at least
Absolutely. I
try
have
to
that.
then take the right
Yeah.
word. Yeah. So what is
Yeah.
it? A 9.5 pH balance? Y'all
Yes.
start
It's
understanding
excellent.
what pH balance is in your water because that makes
Excellent.
a heck of a difference in your skin, your mental health, your growth,
It
how you
does. Your
thinking.
hair.
Yeah.
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 Even your respiratory, even your it
Yeah.
flushes you very
Overall.
well.
Yes,
It
it
flushes
does.
you very well for people who really, I mean, come on, we're transparent up in here. Now
Yeah,
when we
that's what
talk
I'm
about
saying.
mental health, we're
Yeah.
talking about the body too.
We're gonna get into the
Flushing your
truth.
system and things like that,
Yeah, Miss
making sure your
Latoya, she
urine,
understand.
it looks, my grandmother said, make sure you check your bodily waste. How does it look? I was be like,
Hmm.
grandma.
Yeah,
She
because you don't
says,
want,
yes. She was a
but the
practical
adult,
nurse too.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
You
The
want to
adult
make
in
sure
you is
you are
like making
healthy.
sure. Hmm.
Exactly. So here
Yeah,
we
I
are
stopped
adulting. We
snacking
lifing
on Cheetos and stuff
and
like
ain't drinking the
Funyuns and
right
all
water.
that, and then you wonder why you
Mm-hmm.
feel some type of way. Yeah. So
Exactly. You wonder why your belly and things is like, oh, wonder
out of
why
whack, or
you're anxious and things. So
yeah,
you just have to keep working through it and working at it and
that's all
dealing
you
with
got to do.
this seasonal depression, the seasonal active disorder, the summer blues,
As Miss
get to
Latoya
it.
calls it, yeah, the
Yeah,
summer
with it,
blues.
this summer blues. You
Yeah.
don't have to accept it. And and this is a silent struggle. It's a silent struggle, but it doesn't have to remain silent, and I believe I shared this earlier with I shared this with Shannon earlier, that sometimes we internalize stuff. I know I do.
Yeah.
But I don't do it
Understood.
as much as I used to. But sometimes I internalize things, and if I'm when I'm internalizing that, it'll play out. My body will be like, okay, you need to speak about this. My
Yeah.
brain will say, you need to speak about this, because something else will happen to my body, or
Mhm.
anxiety will pop up, or I'll
Mhm.
begin to get upset about something, or
Mhm.
it'll throw me off schedule or something. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
It'll take
okay,
me
I need
down
to talk about right.
if I
And you
don't
don't even
address
know
it.
you're going
Yeah.
down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Headaches or
Absolutely, Trey.
migraines or yep.
There it is. Those
Body pains
migraines
and
are
yep.
wicked, and
Mhm.
inflammation. All those things are associated with our mental health. The body and the brain works together, which is, we are so creatively made. It's so amazing,
Mhm.
and thank God, when we actually pay attention to what God is saying to us. Some people, whether they believe it or not, it's okay. They're going to wind up speaking to God
That's all right.
anyway, because
Yeah.
let something happen. What's the first thing they're going to say? Oh,
Oh my
God.
God.
OMG.
Yeah.
They gonna say, "Oh God," blah blah blah. But that's all right. God is so understanding. He's so smart. He's like, "It's okay. You coming to me?
I feel like all
I'll
we can
wait
do is
for it."
I feel like all we can do is encourage people, no matter where you are with your faith or your background. I mean, at least
Exactly.
start with what you put in your body. At least we can coach people
Please.
and teach people on eating better, eating right. Shout out to my mom
Yes.
on her journey on getting certain things in order in regards to her health. So obviously we mentioned that
Exactly.
her not feeling well, but she talked to me about some
Yeah.
things that I'm gonna do with her. And we had a
Absolutely.
discussion,
Very
and I
good.
was saying that some of those things that she said she wanted to change, I said I let go of years ago now,
Absolutely.
like the fast food and things like that. So everything I eat is pretty much at home, and so I'm a lot more aware. But my point is, get around somebody that can use some type of support like that, because I
Yes.
can't wait to band with her and do some of the things I've been wanting to do for a long time with her. So
Absolutely. The
get with
mind
somebody that's going to
shift.
help you do it. Yeah,
Oh man, I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so
yeah,
proud of you guys.
and
Excellent example.
yeah,
That's why we had just stop it, because we had examples first.
yeah.
Cool. And it's so much better with a
Proof is in the
team.
pudding.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is. It's so much better with a team, and the mind shift. When things shift, when the mind shifts, things shift into the right gear. They shift into the right way. So yes, you guys, that's a beautiful beginning. And
hmm,
the beautiful beginnings always have more beautiful chapters with it. So yes,
exactly.
kudos, big ups to you guys and your new journey. I'm so
I know
proud.
that's
I'm
right.
so proud.
I'm excited
So
for the both of
yeah.
us, honestly, because I can benefit
Yes, I
from it
am.
too. So
Yes,
I can
yes,
still tighten up on some
absolutely.
things myself. Kenneth Clark said,
Viewers,
Kenneth
yeah.
said, I don't need to say his name like I don't know. I don't know why I always say his full name like that.
It's all
But
right,
Kenneth
Dr.
said,
K in the house.
Dr. K is in the house, that part. He said social distancing affected our interpersonal communication skills with each other. He said we lost a sense of humanism and human kindness. Yeah.
Absolutely, Dr. K. I couldn't have said it better.
It was a
You know,
vacation for me.
listen, it was so beautiful. In one respect, it was so beautiful. How, humans, it's that's the bottom line. Humans always need a dilemma
Yeah, that's the
to
thing.
actually change. They always need a dilemma. So yeah, that social distancing worked, and it should continue. However, some people need more dilemmas than others, but that's okay. Those who have
That's all
learned
right.
by it, keep moving, keep being the examples, keep shining and sharing. And those who ain't
Exactly.
learned nothing, some, I don't know, they just have to, they gonna
I
have
ain't
to
gonna
get
say
to it,
you.
get
I ain't
with
gonna
it,
say that you. Yeah, I
get
was
through it. I don't know.
exactly. I love that saying that you get to it, get with it, get
Mm-hmm.
through it. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We still gotta give a little something on the shoulder for people that aren't quite there, because I have
Right.
a few, and I said that in my story. So some of y'all that watch my stories are starting to say, "Oh, I like this or I like that," and I'm just saying things that come to mind. I'm just speaking on things that I see on my everyday. So a lot of people that
Absolutely.
I know personally around my age, I've said this a few times on the show. That I wish that because they might be 5, 6 years older than me, I wish I could look up to them. I wish I could have conversations about progress or doing things, good, like doing good things in the community or whatever it may be. But um, unfortunately, I can't. But
Understood.
those people are still human. Those people still have emotions and feelings and stuff as well. So I try my
Absolutely.
best not to say, "Oh well, you're a waster or you're not gonna be or whatever."
Mm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
try to keep a small little piece of hope somewhere in the picture for them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, hope is good. Hope is good, and
yeah.
it always comes with some good signs. It may be
hmm
slow, might be a slow grind sometime, but that's okay.
But I also
That's
learned,
okay.
honestly, I also learned where to direct my attention to,
Absolutely.
because people need to show you still. I mean, you have some people where you have to pull out that motivation. You got to pull that motivation
Yeah.
out of them, but at the same time, someone needs to show you slight evidence of trying to change their
Yes.
situation, trying to make it out of their situation. Because I would never brag on helping anyone or doing anything for anyone, but I had a few people that I had to say, "Look, all right, that's enough." Because
Uh,
how can I get it for
yeah.
myself? And then I don't see
Exactly.
you trying to get it either. So you
Right.
can't be in the same spot that I
Accountability.
seen you in on the way to work
Oh
at
yeah. Oh
7 in the morning,
yeah.
and then
Oh
see you in
yeah.
that same spot on the way back. It's not gonna.
Oh yeah.
So you have to
It ain't
balance
gonna
out,
fly.
how much. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's accountability. And
hmm
sometimes it has to be pointed out so people can point themselves in the right direction. It's like in New York, what it said, people say in New York, see something, say something.
Yeah.
Well,
We
it,
need
it
more of
depends
those.
on how you say it. And when you say it, why you say it, and where you say it. It depends.
Right.
And with that being said, then whoever it reaches,
Yeah.
you know. So
Because I
so
already
yeah,
told you, I'm not trying to exhaust
absolutely.
myself reaching to
Uh-uh.
anybody who's not looking
Mm-mm.
for anything like this or
Exactly.
whatever we're doing,
Whoever
because
it
that's
reaches.
exhausting. That's
It can
whoever it
be.
reaches.
It can
Yeah.
be because you have to be able to keep your strength up. A friend of mine told me one time, said, I was when I was in a what they call a dark place,
hmm
and I was in a relationship that was also in a dark place. We were two people in the
Understood.
same dark place,
I feel you.
and my friend, she told me, she was like, you know what? If you don't cut this loose, it's gonna kill
hmm
you. That was
hmm
it.
That's
That
that
was enough
honesty.
said.
That's
That
that
was enough
honesty.
said. She said, it's going to kill you. That
Everybody needs a
person is
friend
going
like
to
that.
be, yes. She said that person is going to be remain the way he is. But if you don't leave this relationship and that person alone, it's going to kill you. You're just going to die. And what's going to happen to your children?
I'm glad that you had whatever you had in your
Mm-hmm.
mind mentally to accept or consider that, because you also have a lot of people that you try to say, "Oh, this,
Yeah.
I don't know if this gonna work. I don't think this is the way,"
Right.
and then they
Right.
still, either some I've watched fall into a trap that they can't get
Mm.
out of.
Yeah.
I watched some, not no longer be here as a result of that. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
Yeah.
luckily,
Yeah.
you were somebody who actually listened, because you could have easily taken her words and
Yeah. Yeah.
balled it up and threw it out there somewhere out
Yeah.
there in the deep
Mm-hmm.
abyss. You could have,
Yeah.
got rid of it. So I'm glad you listened. I'm glad
I thank
it
God.
clicked
I
for you.
thank God. I
I thank
thank
him
God I
too.
had ears to hear, because I would have missed out on so many amazing things. I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be anywhere. I know
Yeah,
that for sure. And I just thank God for her for just being there for me. And yeah, and if it hadn't happened, and it happened at the right time, these things got to click at the right time too.
it does, and I
You
realized that too.
know, yeah. So when they click at the right time, when you're going through your summer blues for in your season, because
hmm
sometimes we go through our summer blues too long. We
hmm
stay in the situation too
And that
long,
rut,
or
that
we
cycle.
allow that situation to stay with us too long, and it just grips us, and we just feel like
Yeah,
there's no escape. However, there's solutions right across across the board. Their solutions, because and
Do me a
two, every
favor.
generation experiences it differently.
Do me a favor. Suggest
Yeah,
two of them. Suggest two or three suggestions to lift somebody out of that. Because I think both you and I know what it feels like to be in a dark space and not know if you're going to get back out of it. So, three things you would suggest.
absolutely. Three
Yeah.
things I would suggest is actually having dialogue with your family,
You got to talk
having
to
some
somebody.
dialogue with the right family members, because like
Hmm.
everybody in the family is not going to understand, believe me.
Hmm.
And you shouldn't expect them,
No, yeah, you're
because
right about that too.
the
Yeah.
mind shift.
Yeah.
It's the mind thing, and they may not be receptive, but talk with the right people, hold dialogue and conversations with people to share your experiences and your coping strategies. Don't
Hmm.
be ashamed to say, listen,
Each
I
one
got this
teach
stuff
one,
going on
like
in my
Miss
head.
Latoya
Yes,
said. Hmm.
exactly. Yes, Latoya, each one
She
teach
said we're
one.
all a work
you
in
know
progress.
we are, thank God. And thank God for the progress, you
Hmm.
know. So yeah, speak with those people, and also community awareness. Come
I
together
feel
with
you.
some type of community awareness, community support in your community. That is also helpful. The third one, having accessible mental health resources, such as a counselor.
Hmm.
Now everything is going remote.
Yeah.
It's okay to get psychological help. It's
Yeah.
okay to even have like a group chat. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So this talk therapy is in so many different dimensions. You have a circle of support, peer support, should
Hmm.
I say, that you can go into. You can join that peer support group, and you guys share a common bond, in your experiences. That is also helpful. And again, first and foremost, have that some type of support from your family and friends, because friends is going through stuff too that you don't even know about.
Very true. And make sure, like my mom says, make sure you ask them. The
Yeah,
strong
ask
friends,
them.
the one that
Yeah,
everybody needs and all of that. Make sure you
and
ask
make
them
make
too.
some
Don't
friends.
assume. Yeah, make
Yeah,
some
make
friends
some
if you can.
friends. I was
So
going through the summer blues too, when Ariel first went her first tour away from America, her first tour out
yeah.
of America to Afghanistan. This was after, what was it, 9/11? This was
Mm.
not too soon after 9/11.
So it was it
My
that same
oldest,
year, 2001, or
it was, no, it was like the following year was my oldest daughter. She went to Iran.
okay.
Then Ariel went, I think it was a year after, but the two of
Hmm.
them were going away from me for the first time in my whole life as their mama. you know, at the same. So my
Right.
God, I cried every single day
I can
until I
imagine.
met a neighbor whose children was already overseas.
Yeah.
And
Male or female? Oh,
she
she.
was female. She was
Hmm.
female, and she and
Yeah.
I, we cried together, and she supported. We had little crying sessions. We cried till we stopped crying,
That's
and
all
we were
right.
able to talk about it. And I thank God for her. She passed on from breast cancer, and I think about her
Mm.
every day. True sister soldier, true
Mm.
soldier. And I loved her. I love her still, even though she's gone. Her children are amazing children. I love the family. Um, True Latino woman,
Oh,
true.
you
I
already
tell
know the
you
love is there.
everything. I'm
And
telling
living in New
you.
York. Yeah.
And living, listen, she really was so phenomenal. And what I said that to say this, yeah, she was like family too. So yeah, you
Hmm.
do make some new family. If you don't have any, make some new family, because there's all sorts of situations, and you're gonna need somebody to talk with, somebody genuine.
Yeah.
Somebody
So what do
genuine,
you say
somebody
though?
you can feel good about.
Because that sparks another question then. So what do you say to those that because I also know, and this is from me, like if I already had some of these people watching that could use this or use some of your words or even the like collective words from the people in the comments and stuff too, what would you say to those that aren't even there with it? And I ask that whether it be a reason why they are incapacitated or addicted to a drug or alcohol or substance or anything like that. I know a lot of people younger than me. At 30 years old, I know a lot of 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 16-year-olds that see none of that. So
Yeah.
they aren't even, they aren't even comprehending or haven't even heard half of the words that we're speaking. So what would you say to them? because a lot of them are living like it's their last day, and everybody's wearing ski masks. And we talked about this before, but everybody has on ski masks, and everybody is trying to live dangerously. So, what would you say to them?
Yeah. I would say, you know, just what? Just stop
Yeah,
it. I would say just stop it. Just
yeah,
stop the nonsense, because technically it's really they I have to say some are traumatized, so I can't say this doesn't apply to everybody. Most of them are traumatized. I saw a young cat on the other day on the bus, ski mask up
hmm
to the
yeah,
nose, and
yeah,
it was like, I'm like, okay. And he was telling some guy in a coded language that he left his stuff at the house.
yeah.
And I was just listening. I was ear hustling because he was talking loud
I
enough.
love the bus. I ain't gonna lie. I
You
love the
know,
bus.
I was on the bus, and
Public transit. Yeah,
he was talking loud enough. I said, okay. And he was telling the guy, in a coded language, he left his stash.
yeah.
And he was telling him to search for it, look for it. And so the guy, he pulled out a vape and started smoking on the bus. I was like,
Oh
really?
wow. Oh yeah. They
And the
don't
bus
play that around
driver
my way
didn't say nothing.
because
The
he's
bus
probably
driver, I
scared.
was about to get off.
The
The
way these
driver didn't
kids are
say
now.
nothing.
Yeah.
And I said, so I had my walker, and and he was blocking the way. So I said, excuse me, baby. I said, I need to get off Sugar Pie. And don't you know, he moved so politely. He got off
Yeah.
the bus. He was still holding this conversation, but he was so polite, because the words excuse me and sugar pie, things like
Yeah.
that,
Because that matters.
it caught him off
Yeah.
guard.
Trigger words
So
almost like
trigger
this
word.
make you chime in.
Hmm. So for
Yeah.
people who are in that mindset, for the older generation, it's time for the older generation to not be afraid, to know how to have a trigger conversation, to trigger
hmm
a conversation with the
hmm
younger generations, with the ones who are unconscious, with the ones who are incoherent.
hmm
Have some kind of dialogue, because that's key. And also try to find out what's happening in school.
hmm Yeah.
That's where it starts.
Try to dig in. If you care enough, try to dig into what's going on with
Ah,
those individual
dig
kids.
deep,
Because people aren't
dig
just bad
deep.
to be bad. People don't just
They
do,
can be taking
yeah.
up them bad habits. It's
Yeah.
happening in the schoolhouse. Go to the schools, find out what's happening even in the youth programs. Find out, start networking with your neighborhood community officers, with the police department. I hear some people now like, oh, not the popo. Yes, 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 and
Yeah.
yes.
I feel
Get
you.
with the popo and
Let me
find
read
out how to work with them. Oh, yes, Dr. K.
Kenneth's comment. You're gonna have some because it doesn't fill up the entire screen, so some of it's gonna be cut off. But I'm gonna no, actually, you know what? It does minimize
Yeah,
it and
I can
show it.
see it.
So yep. So it says
Mm-hmm.
seek a mentor to help get out of the pit. Spiritual fiber is key. That's one of the things I love that Kenneth says all the time. It's three fibers, and spiritual fiber is one of them. He says to get
Yes.
out of that pit though, spiritual fiber is key. He says self care is key to doing something that's healthy like fitness. Something that can help uplift you out of the pit. He said drawing, coloring, painting. Yep. Like
Yes.
my mom
Yes.
crochets and stuff, for instance, like
Mm-hmm.
little common thing makes jewelry now and stuff like that. Little common
Absolutely.
stuff. Definitely great
Absolutely.
tips. Thank you,
It
Kenny.
really is
hmm
very, very excellent. And I have to say, and it increases your awareness. It will help you,
hmm
because you're engaging in something outside yourself, outside of that selfish, that selfishness.
Little,
Once
yeah,
that selfishness is put to rest, I mean, it's okay to be selfish, good, because there's good selfishness. But we're
yeah,
talking about when your whole life is just, you're in so deep, and all you're thinking about is stuff that's
yes,
not pertaining to a good life, a
yeah,
wholesome life, then yeah, then of course the enemy's trying to kill you. So you
yeah,
have to have that kind of support. Sip and paint. Even here in New York, we have what do you call we have an outlet, because
hmm
we all need to vent,
yes, we
and
do.
it's a place where
Yes,
you
we
can
do.
go and break stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember you
You
said
can.
that.
Yeah, I
I would
talked
like
about
that
that
though.
before. I think it's so cool. And
Yeah,
you can
everybody
go,
got mad. Go ahead.
listen, $30, $50 sessions they have, but listen, for a half hour, get it out your soul, as my grandmother would say.
Yeah,
You can
find some
break
type of
stuff,
source. Yeah.
dishes, furniture, find something to vent, sing, make music, write poetry, write a book, and advocate for better services. That's another thing. Become an advocate, become a
hmm
specific advocate. This is what we're here for, to improve mental health services and a support system that's responsive to our needs, that's responsive to our Black families, that's responsive to our children, responsive to humankind. That's what it's about. We are about advocating for humankind across generation. Things across each generation, everybody thinks differently, but that's okay. We got to find the
That's all right.
right support,
Common ground. Yeah. Or to
common
support.
ground,
Yeah. Yep. Support,
common
common
ground,
ground. Same thing. Same thing.
regardless of the season. Seasons are going to
Yeah.
happen. Seasons are
Easier
going to
said than
happen.
done. But I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like we're leaning in that direction of being able to be that for people. I
yeah,
love all that has already happened so far. Some of the small little things that have already happened. Simple things, but not basic things, that
absolutely,
have happened for some of my friends that have came on here. So it's um it's brewing. It's happening. It's brewing.
absolutely.
So as long as we continue to do what we do, um,
Yeah,
you know, I think we will continue to build and get in the right direction. And shout out to my
absolutely.
grandmother too, because she's upstairs on the third floor, but she's watching live now, so she's able
All
to
right.
get access to the YouTube channel. She's subscribed and stuff as well. So
Oh,
she's
watch out
she's able
there,
to now
big
watch it
sister
live instead of having
Margaret.
to watch it like after the show. But as
Watch
far
out
as
there, big sister
support
Margaret.
and older folks, like one thing my grandmother says all the
Cool,
time is
cool.
make sure you have and don't be closed off to older folks because
Exactly,
they'll
exactly.
sit and tell you the raw truth. Somebody
Yeah,
who has been blessed enough to have so many years on this earth and to see all the
exactly.
changes of people and how we are socially, how we are as far as people addressing our own problems, what things have we gotten out of, what things have we fell back into. So I love somebody
Exactly.
who has a timeline in their eyes, and has
Yes,
seen it
and they
all
can
pretty much.
share. They can
Hmm.
share the differences. And smart people always do the comparisons anyway. And for us older folks, we've been through decades, and that's a good thing. So we
Yeah,
have a lot to
that you made
share.
it that far.
We made it that far, and we also embrace the younger generation to help us to move further. So we need each other. We need each other to fly. Everybody flying together. We
Miss
need
Latoya said,
each
"Walk in
other.
history." Yeah,
Walking history.
exactly. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And making new history. Young folks is making new history. And I'm with y'all on that one. We are here to make new history. And yeah, and I got a question.
yeah,
Since
sure.
what's the secret to your happiness? What is the secret to your happiness? Could the secret to happiness be tied to the calendar? I don't know, maybe some people use a calendar to
I think as
formulate
far
their
as
life and stuff.
your structure, honestly, knowing what's going on, having things to fill into your calendar, I realize is
Uh-huh.
a thing.
It's
So,
tied to
um,
happiness.
and then when you have, and then it could be tied to a few things. I'm honestly, money goes down for a lot of people because their work is based off of a certain time of the year, so they might home more often because it might be wintertime and they're not out there taking care of, like, for instance, someone who does lawn and garden and stuff, like, you're not out there
Right.
working. You might
Seasonal.
not be doing the same
Exactly.
type of work, so you might be not laid off, but you might be maybe laying back or kicking back a little bit more. So I see how that can be.
Right.
Yeah, I see how
Absolutely.
that can be a
Absolutely.
thing.
Seasonal. That's a great business. Lawn
Hmm.
mowing, home improvement,
Hmm.
home
Curb
cleaning, and
appeal, anything to do with
cleaning
that.
anything.
Who don't need
Cleaning
that?
anything
Who don't
is
need
big
that?
business. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be seasonal because in between seasons you're probably upgrading or making modifications to the business. So
Hmm.
you're pretty much in operation all year round. So
All
yeah,
year.
so the calendar does hold, the secrets to happiness because you're charting. It's a way to
Yeah, you can
chart your
plan and
happiness.
see what's coming up and know
Hmm.
that you have a flow of things and keep helps you keep busy
Absolutely.
too. Helps you want to fill that
Yeah,
in and make a schedule and make things that
exactly.
have going on. But I want to answer
And
I want you to repeat your question because you had an original
yeah,
question that I want to answer too. So repeat that question one more time for everybody.
could the secret to your happiness be tied to the calendar?
Well, I think that it was a question that was right before that. I think maybe
Oh,
you just
before that,
yes, you just had a question. Maybe you was just asking it off the dome. You said something about um how you said something about your happiness and not the calendar necessarily, but was it? It wasn't your sources. I can't remember the question, and maybe it wasn't written down, but it was a question
Yeah,
that you were
it's
just
probably
asking. I was
just
trying to,
came to
okay,
mind.
off the
Yeah, it
dome.
just came to mind. It'll probably pop back up. You
Well,
know how my brain works.
well,
Like,
I
hey, let
still
me just
remember the
ask.
answer. So I remember whatever the
Yeah.
question, the formulated question was. I wanted you to repeat it, but I still remember what I was going to say, which is,
Uh-huh.
I think it was something about learning how to do. It wasn't about being peace or anything, but I knew my answer was learning how to be okay without anything. So it was whatever your
Absolutely.
question was. It was my answer was learning how to be okay without anything. So whether it be possessions, if you didn't have your phone, and learning to separate yourself from everything around you. So when I watch this play, but when I watch the playback, I'm gonna be like, oh, that was the question. But I'll try
Yeah.
to
Well,
make that
you're
into
still
another show.
sharing the
But
secret. Yeah,
yeah, but
that's the
still.
secret. That's one of the
That's
secrets.
what it was. What was yeah,
The
that's what you
secret.
were asking.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
secret.
the secret.
So
The secret
yeah,
to
so
your
getting away
happiness.
from your device, not needing
Mm-hmm.
anyone or anything necessarily make you happy. Being able to sit with yourself, really,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely.
So that downtime,
Absolutely.
yeah, and being okay and
Yeah.
content with that without things going on, having a full schedule, being able to sit there and just read a book or just be in your silence or be in your peace without feeling, because there's a lot of anxiety that comes
Exactly.
behind that. And when you
That's
mentioned,
that
um,
silent struggle.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so when you had mentioned like COVID, for instance, that's one thing that it made people it built up a lot of anxiety in people because they realized and picked up on a lot of things that were normally covered up by things like work and getting up at a certain time to get the kids to school or get the kids outside to the bus stop and certain things you naturally had to do every day, grocery shopping and everything, and come home and probably make dinner for yourself or for your family or whatever. Those natural things are
Yeah.
distractions. So when you're home all day, you have to face those things. So my thing
Exactly.
is being able to pull back and not need resources like social media or whatever. Just being able to sit in silence, having the
Yeah.
self control
Yeah.
to sit in silence and not need any external anything to make you feel fulfilled
Exactly.
or happy or whatever. Nothing's wrong with a little music or
Exactly.
something like that, but needing
Exactly.
something, getting
Yeah.
irritable because you cracked your phone or you can't use your phone for the moment, so you have
Oh
no internet
wow.
access or social media
Wow. That's
access.
attached
Just
at the hip.
yeah, yeah. So
Like a
yeah, so being
child.
able to
Wow.
separate from everything, I think,
Yeah.
is a
And
good
we
answer.
need that. That's a part of our happiness, to
Hmm.
separate the what's not good for us compared to what's good for us. And
Being able to
and
decipher, yeah.
exactly, making the right decision, and also meditating
Hmm.
on on just the space that you're in, meditating, because technically when you meditate, you're reflecting.
Yes, you
A
are.
lot of others, you should be reflecting on the things that not so much need to be done, just
Hmm.
reflecting on being
You're
human,
plotting, you're
reflecting on,
planning. Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
reflecting on the good space that God has blessed you to be in, reflecting on a better mindset,
Hmm.
reflecting on the things that need to happen with your, with your life, your heart, your spiritual self, your
Hmm.
wealth self. There's so many components that the so many things the body is engaged in. Your
Hmm.
even your political self. We have
Hmm.
political health. All those things bring you full circle into wealth when we
Hmm.
engage and we have a plan. So the calendar, of course, is one chart, is one way to chart your life and make life better. So, spring fever. I had a question about spring fever.
What's your
I
question
used to
about
say, "Oh
that?
God, I got spring fever." I used to say, "I got spring fever," but at the time when I was thinking about spring fever, I was in a whole nother mindset, and I was really
Hmm.
a baddie. I had to tell you, I was bad. I was bad. Oh my God! I
I
know
ain't
some
mad
people
at that.
saying, "What, Professor
Right, I ain't
Williams?"
mad at that.
Yes. Grand Queen, yes.
Uh-huh.
I was bad, and I had spring fever that you don't even want to know about. But anyway, and that's another story. That's
Right,
another podcast.
right,
I handled that spring fever.
right
So,
there.
is spring fever real? How do blossoms and warmer weather affect our mental state? What spring fever mean to you guys?
I mean, I
How
know
does
one thing. Shoot,
how does nature affect our mental health?
I know one
our
thing
mental
when it's
state.
like wintertime and I mean it's all gloomy and well I do like I appreciate those type of days honestly because I like like you said the rain. I like the calm days because I notice when I get to work for instance everybody's just calmer. You might want to you're just doing what you need to do to get about your day. Sometimes the
Right.
sun honestly coming out can get people a little riled up and get people a little
Oh,
over the mark. So
over the
there's kind of like
top.
a little adverse effect to it.
Okay. The
But
sun and the moon, huh? Some people like
yeah.
the moon makes them do that too. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it's not all
Okay.
vibrant. The grass is dead. The grass or dormant or whatever. It's not flowers out. So I understand how I mean, I wish I
The
had some tips for them right
colors.
now, but everything's
Right.
gloomy. It's not just not as bright and vibrant. You don't have as much
That's true.
sunlight out. So
Yeah,
plenty of reason to
yeah.
feel some type of way. It is real. It has to be real. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That summer blues. It is real. It is real. What you say, family? You guys chime in. Those who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, please chime in. Tell us about your summer blues. Is spring fever real to you, and how do you cope?
Mhm.
How has it affected your mental state? Do you even know? Does it even affect your mental state? Because sometimes we're so super busy, got to go to work
Or even
or
if you feel like it doesn't, don't be
got to go to
afraid to say
school.
that it doesn't. You don't have to claim it if it doesn't bother
Yeah,
you or
if it
doesn't affect
doesn't,
you.
it's okay. If you good with spring, and if you good with it, summer, winter, spring, fall. If you good, that's good. If you know somebody who have a hard time, say, hey, what you gonna do about it? How are you coping?
Right? How
Give
you
them
going?
some
Yeah.
coping skills. Yeah, how you going? What you gonna do? What is your spiritual self saying about it? Our spirit self, our spiritual health is equally important. One
Hmm.
is it's all equally important. So we got to address our spiritual health. Now in winter, okay. So Ari, I was hoping Ari would drop by tonight and
I
share
see
some
some
pictures.
people in
I
here
do have some
watching, but
pictures.
she normally
Absolutely.
comments. She'll say what's up and say hello.
Yeah,
So
she'll
the
say,
people that are watching, yeah, different people
I'm gonna
tonight.
share some pictures she shared with me from Alaska. Some Alaska chill pictures. I tell you, it's the most beautiful place. I mean, the mountainside is just woo, phenomenal. It's just sometimes you are knee deep in snow, and how you cope with that, how she's coped with that has just been phenomenal. What's the hidden impact is what I'm saying, of the colder months on our psyche. You just shared a part of it with us, Trey. It's gloomy. The hidden impact of winter.
Yeah,
How it
sunlight is
plays on our
gone, no
psyche.
colors.
Sunlight
Yeah.
and those heavy clothes, because you got to boot up, coat up,
Mhm.
glove up,
Mhm.
hat up, and more.
But then honestly,
Hood up.
take something. Take if you're somebody who's not affected, whether it be your joints, your bones, whatever. I know some of us have some issues with being outside in the weather. If it doesn't affect you,
Yeah,
still take it, bundle up and get outside. Have a reason to come back
yeah,
inside and have some cocoa, have some hot chocolate or something. Like
exactly.
there's something for every
Hot
time of the year.
coffee.
So find something. If you
Yeah,
just sitting there and you just feeling like whatever, it's because you're not finding something to do. It's like
it's
Kenneth said.
true.
What did he say in the comments about different things you can do about art and like what did he say, painting and
And
art
fitness.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
fitness
fitness
and,
and drawing.
and
Yeah,
working out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Take a health perspective. Engage
e-
better. Because fitness and
exactly.
things like that. I got some people like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to go to the gym.
Yeah,
But
I ain't
that's
gonna lie, act
okay.
like I do,
Find some kind of
but at least
fitness.
I get out and walk every
My
day. I
son,
know I'm
it's
active.
okay.
Yeah.
You to take a walk. Take a walk, take a brisk walk. My grandmother used to say, take a brisk walk. you know? Hey, do
Yeah.
something, Yeah. So, and it will really be beneficial. You'll start, and when you start to chart it, like on a calendar or your diary or something like that, you'll see it makes
You
a
got more to
huge
look at.
difference.
You got more to look
Yeah,
at.
yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, for sure. So Trey,
Exactly.
give us the disclaimer, and then we're gonna give some shout outs tonight to our graduates and birthday people.
Hey, shout out to the birthday people, of course, everybody. So, y'all already know for those that watch us that we have to give our disclaimer in the beginning and the end because, regardless of whatever it is we tell you guys, we are only mental health advocates. We are not medical professionals. So, let me read this real quick. Y'all see it up on the screen, but I'm going to read it to you anyway. As a friendly disclaimer, everybody, the information in this video is not intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All content, including, I'm going to say the way you say it, including text, graphics, and anything else that comes from, any imagery that comes from us, it's only content that's to be considered advice. We are mental health advocates that are here for you, no more, no less.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whoever it reaches. Absolutely.
Whoever it reaches. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So we got some shout outs for all the birthday folks, all the birthday babies in April. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. Have fun. Celebrate your birthday month in the month of April. I'm one of them, and I just want to thank you guys for reaching out. April 1st. That is April Fool's Day. I used to hate it, but now I'm loving it. Because technically, you know, April Fools in Europe used to be the day where people would give presents and gifts.
Yes.
So here we are, just living a gift of life, and I am so happy to be with you guys living it as is. So I just thank you guys for all your birthday love and birthday blessings and more. And those birthday babies, party on, enjoy your life, and keep advocating for good mental health support. All our graduates. We got some graduates, all our high school graduates, middle school graduates, kindergarten graduates. My grandbaby's getting ready to graduate.
My cousin Naya just had her prom yesterday, so shout out to her. And her prom, she has a beautiful prom dress, and yes, shout out to her. Yes.
Big ups to Naya.
Queen Naya. Yes, Anaya will be her full first name.
Naya, who made it to the finish line this far. Woo! All right, now we gotta help her to keep fixing her crown.
And straighten it up.
Her, absolutely celebrating her prom, celebrating her victory to the next level. And I know everybody is so proud of her. We are proud of her at JTI. Absolutely.
Oh yes. Oh, and one more shout out to
graduates.
One more shout out to. I wanted to shout out to my grandmother because her birthday is going to be on April 19th. So her birthday is coming up. Yes, she is. Don't forget she's an April baby as well. So shout out to the Aries. Shout out to all the Aries people. Yeah.
All right, my big sister, my Queen Margaret, our Queen Margaret, the 19th, still partying on. We are definitely in celebration mode. Hey, we got some more partying to do. Absolutely. And also our middle schoolers, our elementary kids, our high schoolers, our college folks, and more. Those of you who are studying, going further in your masters, your doctorates, it doesn't matter what level you are at. We are glad that you are doing it and you are changing the world.
Shout out to all of y'all. Yeah, we need some of y'all. We need y'all to do what y'all doing. So y'all bringing up the rear. Yep.
Exactly. Those of you, even those who are taking certificate programs, you know, that we're talking about certificates, we're talking about qualifications. You probably, some people need certain certificates to, do things. So that is another milestone in your life. You're changing history, and we congratulate you. And all the caregivers tonight, all of the people who are caregivers, you guys are also making new history. You didn't have to. But listen, you are advocating and you are there, and we are there for you, and we love you for that. And we don't take it lightly. Absolutely. Yes, Sawyer, working history.
She said congrats and blessings to all. Thank you, Miss Latoya. And everybody that's on here, don't be afraid to I don't know if Professor's lagging out or not, but I want to tell everybody, don't be afraid to like and subscribe to the YouTube page. If you're on Facebook, that's fine. Go ahead and go ahead and stick that. If that's working for you, that's cool. But we also have our Just Us page. It's the JTI Reform page. So it's JTI Reform 1 on YouTube. Please hit the notification bell so that you get our notification on time to let you know that we are live. So we do this every Wednesday. We do this every Sunday. So on Wednesdays, we have a show called The Pit Stop. The reason why I call it The Pit Stop is because it's a quick interaction. It's only 30 minutes. So, it's no pressure either way for anyone to stay. But, it's a way for you to catch our vibe. We kind of dub it as a mental health check-in as well. Just to say, hello, what's going on? How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? what's going on in the previous show. What's happened on the previous show and what's happening on the following Monday. So the pit stop is from 7:30 to 8, and we have the just stop on Sundays, which is 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I was hoping Professor would be able to slide back in here. I think there she is.
Yeah, yeah. I would just like for a hot second.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's
that
all
is
right.
so good. So you guys come on through to the pit stop and please share all any valid information that on our topics and more, because we want to be able to share more. We don't know everything. However,
We don't.
we know more when you share. Right.
And y'all got
So,
stuff y'all want to talk about. Y'all got stuff y'all want to
we're so
hear.
sure.
So
Yeah.
we here to
So
talk about
please
what y'all
share it
want to
with
talk
us.
about. Yes.
Exactly. Share it with us so we can get to it, and also across the board. So again, we got some more great stuff coming up. We are April fresh. All right. We are April fresh into what is this? The first week of April. So here we go. And we expect to see you guys at the pit stop and next Sunday and more. So please shine and share with your friends, shine and share with family members, shine and share with your community, because we do need to bring this to the ears of our community leaders so they can also advocate and change some of the laws pertaining to mental health support. Some of the HIPAA privacy laws need to change so we can better be able to advocate for our loved ones and our friends when it comes to mental health support. So please don't be afraid to share. Make new friends and share.
That part.
Yes, now. So until next week, peace, love, and joy.
All right, y'all. Good show, Professor. Absolutely. Of course. Yes. Absolutely. Thank you for your time. Glad to see you back.
Trey.
Glad that you all right. Yes, it was a great show.
Thank you, Trey.
So
thank you.
Don't
so
y'all be
much.
afraid to chime in and inbox either one of us. I'm
Absolutely.
Louisville on Facebook, LUIVILLE. You can find me through the Just Stop It page as well. Reach out to either one of us and let us know a topic you want to discuss or something you want to hear about, something you might want us to approach. We're here for y'all. So it's not just about you watching us, it's about us getting to discussions we all can enjoy. So that's all.
Oh, one more shout out. Shout out to Auntie Kim.
Shout out to Auntie Kim.
Shout out to Auntie Kim. All right. Shout out to Queen Kim.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Who helped my grandmother get on YouTube and get subscribed and everything and showed her how to be able to watch it live when she's at home. So luckily she's upstairs, so I have her presence in the house for right now. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we thank God for you, Kim. Yes, now you are one of our queens. You're one of ours. So yes. So big ups to our Queen Kim. We are all here helping each other fix our crown.
Get it straightened up. Don't be afraid to straighten up. Don't be afraid to tighten it up.
How to wear our crown. And thank you guys for helping me. So it's all good. Until next week, stay in the loop. Stay in the loop. You will be okay no matter what. Peace, love, and joy.
All right.
In a while.
All right, Professor. Catch you later. In a while. All right, y'all. All right. Y'all know how we do. See you later. Okay, cool. So she already said I can let her in. So this is Miss Yelena. Awesome lady.
Yes.
I'm glad I had a chance to have a conversation with her, not to take over the show what we're talking about, but I wanted to highlight her because she's has awesome energy. I can't wait to work with her in the
Yes, she
future.
does.
I'm not going to say what we're
Yeah.
going to do with
Exactly.
her in the future, but great things are coming soon. So she's a wonderful person to have on. This is Miss Elaine, everybody. Hey, Miss Elaine.
Absolutely.
Hi, good evening,
Hey,
everyone.
What
Yelena.
is going on? I'm glad you stopped by.
I
You said you
will.
would.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God.